welcome to From La La to Utah. I'm Chris. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles.
Hi, I'm Dar. I've lived in the southern Utah area my entire life. We met online in 2018. We got married in 2021. And now here we are launching our first episode of From La La to Utah together. We're so glad that you're joining us here.
In today's episode, we want to introduce ourselves. We're going to share the story of how we met, what's happening in our lives now, and also compare some things we thought were strange when we first got together, especially the difference between Utah and Los Angeles.
Yep.
And we will give some advice to someone seeking a little bit of help with their relationship. But first, we should probably share the story of how we met.
Yeah, totally. So, Chris, paint the picture. What was going on in your life before you put that profile online?
Well, I was living in Las Vegas after growing up in Southern California, working as a customer service manager for Airbnb Corporate. It's a detour for my life from journalism and PR. I came off a failed first marriage where it seemed like we came together because things clicked, but they didn't. A lot of you have been there. But there's never any regrets because of two great kids.
Yeah.
And then after that, I had a 2-year relationship that didn't click for other reasons. So after that, as far as love went, I gave up on the concept I used to listen to in my bedroom growing up, or Martin Gore of Depeche Mode sang about somebody to share the rest of your life, share your most intimate thoughts, your most intimate details. Yeah, but I won't sing too much. But like the opening of the Brady Bunch, where you hear Mike Brady talk about being all alone, I was all alone. Yeah. So I still create a dating profile on the website Plenty of Fish.
Yeah.
So
can you read that profile?
I actually do have the profile.
And Lottie's going to join us every now and then.
Yeah, you're gonna see our cat. You're going to see our cat, who's basically
coming and going. She wants to be a part of it. She's a good helper.
Yeah. So it was called, I have it right here, Tall Teddy Bear for Hugs. I'm just going to read it verbatim.
Yes.
Keep in mind, this is
2017, probably. Yeah.
Ever feel like you're a romantic living in a non-romantic world? Are you a big kid who thinks it's a crime to be serious all the time? Do you sometimes open up the Las Vegas Weekly and say, let's go see that? Yet also believe in once in a while vegging out to Netflix, the game on the tube, or a video game? Do you sometimes want to go out in the middle of the desert on a warm night just to look at the stars or see the majesty of nature's wonders by day? That's pretty much me in a nutshell. Though at 6'5", good luck fitting me within the shell of a nut. ENFP on the personality scale, we
Myers-Briggs, right?
Totally into that back then. And still are. Any INTJ or INFJ out there? Sounds like blood type. After a broken up marriage and a broken up 2-year relationship, I'm mainly in a mode right now of just striking up conversations on here and trying to break out of the cycle of expecting perfect love and just enjoy talking to new people. New people. It sounded like I said nude people for a second.
New people.
That is a Vegas thing, but no. But I would like to just break the ice with the start of a friendly conversation and friendship. Who knows where that might lead? At the very least, a beautiful friendship. My interests are news, politics, sports, and sci-fi.
See, and when I heard that or when I read that, I'm like, oh, I love how this guy expresses himself. Like he must be a writer. He has a way of turning a phrase. And so I felt like it was approachable. I could sign up for friendship, right? You weren't putting a lot of pressure. It seemed very casual. So, yeah, I liked your profile. I thought it was good.
Yeah. So what was your life like at this time? It's 2017.
Yeah.
Tell me about your life in 2017.
Yeah. So I was teaching 6th and 7th grade at an intermediate school near my house. I was living with my sister in a house that we purchased together. I had 4 nephews that I was spoiling rotten, as good aunties should. And I had 3 cats. I had a great job, amazing friends. All my family kind of lived nearby, even extended family. And I had a great life, but I was still lonely. You know, I didn't have that other.
You were all alone.
Yeah. And so a funny thing, I had found Çalıkuşu, which is lovebird.
Sounds like an Italian dish.
It is not. It is a Turkish drama that I found on Netflix. And I just fell down this rabbit hole of what is this culture, and these are amazing, and I loved all these Turkish dramas, and so I started watching Fatma Gul and Suçune, and like what was Fatma Gul's fault, and like Kara Sevda, and all of these shows that I'm like, I need to go visit this place. And so I actually even planned a trip to Istanbul for December of 2017. I never made it for many, many reasons, but I did get on the airplane. I'll save that story for another day. But in hindsight, what I was looking for was you. You were missing. I know. But do you want to hear my?
Yeah, I'm not a Turkish
No.
burly man, but I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get off scot-free. I had to read this cheesy thing.
Okay, I'll read mine.
Okay.
I have it here. I printed it
That's
out. Okay, so mine is called Sweet and Sincere Nerd Looking for Match. I am honest and genuine. I enjoy meaningful conversation. I am a nerd well versed in Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, etc. My personality type is INFJ, so one of the two that you mentioned, right? I've never been married and have no kids. I love singing, traveling, and learning new things. I'm currently learning Turkish. I like to stream online entertainment, go to the movies, have friends over for dinner, and being a rock star auntie. I like when my date is confident but not arrogant, can make me laugh, is well-mannered, kind, and has a wide range of interests. I've lived in Utah my whole life, but I'm interested in travel and experiencing other cultures. I grew up LDS, but now choose not to participate in any organized religion. I believe in being kind to others and in the power of good people. I have a live and let live perspective. Please message me if you think you would be a good match, and I'll reply if I sense there's chemistry too. If I don't reply, please don't take it personally. It just means we're probably not a good fit, and I wish you well in your search. Also, please be a real person, genuinely interested in relationships. Brackets, are you as tired of fake profiles as I am? Interests are singing, traveling, animals, and learning new things.
So, speaking of learning new things, we always have to learn, and you should too, about how to catch your breath. So we're going to do that now. We'll be back in a second with more from Lala to Utah. So we're back, and after that
Quick break.
profile,
Yeah.
Who messaged who first?
I think you sent me a clip,
Oh,
video
no.
clip.
Oh no. Okay, so
Do you remember the one that it was?
Yeah. So she mentioned in her profile.
Yeah.
Turkey,
learning
not the lunch meat.
Learning Turkish.
Learning Turkish.
Uh-huh.
And her love of sci-fi, like
Yeah,
me.
totally. Yeah.
And so I sent her a video. The video was Turkish Star Wars. It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. Look it up. Find it on YouTube.
And so
it's rough.
did it
It's a bit
traumatize
rough.
you?
It was jarring. I'll say it was jarring, but what it did tell me is this guy has a sense of humor. He paid attention to my profile. He knew Star Wars enough, and I knew your handle too. Your handle and my
The
handle
people made Turkish Star Wars didn't, but yeah.
No. But I mean, I knew that you would probably have a background in geeky things, so we would have something to talk about.
Yeah.
So it was a good first move. I'll say that.
So
Yes.
we at the same time, you know how they say don't try this at home. I would suggest people not try Turkish Star Wars at home as a dating tool. Just use it if you think it'll work. Go for it. Yeah. So we started talking.
We did.
It was a good icebreaker.
It was a good icebreaker. Yeah.
I'll give myself that.
And we just started talking back and forth, texting, and we'd be like, well, why do guys do this? And why do girls do that? And it was just, we had a good conversation. We became friends, really.
And
we never met until...
No.
It was, I want to say it was in the end of May, maybe. You said, hey, I'm going to go to this thing. Do you want to meet me? And it was a protest.
It was a protest.
In Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, I can meet you in a public place. I can meet you at a protest, because at the time things were ugly at the border and families were being separated. And
we sound like an episode of Family Ties, where the parents go in the 60s and they have big hair. No,
Yeah.
I had normal hair. I did have in high school, and we'll show you sometime. I did have a
mullet.
A mullet, but not.
It was the look at the time.
Yeah. But you agreed to come.
I did. I met you in
Mhm.
Vegas, and we agreed to meet at Hash House A Go-Go. and you kept me waiting so
Yeah.
long. Part of
Yeah.
it was my fault, though. Part of it, I got there
No,
an hour early because I
not your
didn't
fault.
adjust for the time difference from Mountain Standard Time to Pacific. So I
That's
got
right.
there kind of an hour early. So that was on
Ah,
me.
no,
But
but
then I waited for another hour after that because why? Do you remember why?
well, I'll tell you, in high school and college, because I'm a very deep sleeper, I used to have alarm clocks on both sides of my bed, and they both go off, and so I still had that at that point.
Hmm.
Um,
But you were working,
I mean, I was doing you know,
you were being a
I was being a
manager.
manager, but also I did some extra Lyft
Yeah.
driving at night to
Vegas,
get
yeah.
some extra money.
Yeah. So you're probably sleep deprived
Yeah,
and slept through 3 alarms.
living the Vegas lifestyle.
Yeah.
Where people don't get up in the morning.
But
they
you were
work at night.
texting, you're like, please don't leave, I'll buy you whatever you want
Yeah.
from the menu. And that could have been a turning point. That could have been like, this is a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
But I waited, and when you got there, it was just so easy. Our conversation just continued the way that it had been, like texting back and forth.
It's
Right?
such a key. I mean, people don't realize the importance of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
What is the secret to a long relationship, a
Mhm.
long marriage?
Mhm.
It's communication,
Mhm.
and it's not just it's the fact that we can talk to each other.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this in a second, but I mean, so we're at the protest. We're just going along.
Yeah.
There is a point where I don't know who made the first move or whatever, but we
there
had
was
our
a first kiss. Yeah, there was a first kiss.
and it was the most amazing kiss, a kiss to end all kisses.
You're remembering it slightly differently than I.
No, I'm not remembering. I'm just trying not to remember it.
It was not the Princess Bride kiss to end all kisses, but it was a first start in me going, oh, this guy's serious, and I really like him back.
You're being generous. I use too much tongue.
Stop.
And yeah,
it was aggressive. I'll say a little too aggressive. And so part of our conversation after that was, how do you like to be kissed? Right? Here's, and we watched Friends episodes, and I'm like, oh, well, this is a romantic movie kiss. And so we had some, homework to do.
But she went back to St. George,
Yeah.
and I, we still kept talking all the time. I mean,
well, but you forget that first night we were walking, and I was wearing sandals, and my feet got so hot from being on the hot pavement in sandals that we went to the New York, and we were just kind of talking and walking. And by that time, my feet were just like, I need to take a seat. So we found this really cute corner of the New York,
Yeah.
and a couch in the lounge, and we could just listen to music and talk. And you sat in the corner with your arm along the back of the couch, and I kind of sat up against you, and I'm like, wow, this feels really nice. It felt good, like
it
comfortable.
felt like we fit.
Yeah, it did. We fit.
And that's what I mean. It's like two Lego pieces, two Duplo pieces. If you want to go back to your real young years, and it's the word click. It's like if you click, you click. If you don't click, if the two pieces don't fit together, don't put a ring on it.
So then I went back to St. George, and then our first, quote, official date was June 10th.
And it's funny. So, I mean, I go to St. George, and no offense to people in Utah, but the vision of what St. George was to me, and anybody in Vegas or go even further, California or whatever, is basically probably dirt roads,
very rural, pastoral,
no stores, no restaurants except for one general store.
Because you had never been to Utah at all.
And so I get here, and I think right away it looked to me like a main street from Disneyland and the Frontierland from Disneyland.
Yeah, you fell in love right away with the scenery and how beautiful it is.
And in love with the person who was here.
Aww, so yeah. But it caught you off
June
guard.
June 10th, 2018 was the day.
June 10th, yeah. That was our first official date. And we had planned to see a movie, but before the movie, you said, why don't you find a place to eat? Let's get some food before. And so I chose Panda Garden.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went to Panda Garden, and you were so nervous. I could tell that you were nervous. And do you remember what I said to you? I said, just be yourself.
Yes.
And that's enough for me.
Oh, God, that meant so much because I was
in,
I guess, a red flag for guys or for women is if you can't be yourself. And so every relationship, my marriage, I was not able to be myself. It's like I felt embarrassed to be myself, to talk
Mm.
about things for myself.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that just put me at ease.
Mhm.
That's a
Well,
moment where I think, and there's Lottie.
hi, Lottie.
I think it went even in my head like, oh boy, this is great. This is what I've always wanted. This is the Martin Gore. This is the Depeche Mode song. This is somebody.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, that's what I wanted too. I wanted that deep connection, that soul connection, and that comfort level. But I also thought I'm not going to be fake because either we're going to make it or break it based on who we authentically are. Because I can't fake things. I have such, I can't
Okay,
hide
yeah.
how I'm feeling,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be fake
We're
for a
both
whole
terrible
relationship. Are you kidding? Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to start off on the wrong foot. So I gave you permission to be yourself because I wanted to give myself permission to be myself too. So yeah, that's.
And I mean, so.
Do you remember the?
And then that night, well,
Well,
here's
we
the thing about being yourself. We go to the movie. The first movie we see is Solo.
Which is not our favorite Star Wars movie, but it's
It's
okay.
okay.
It was fun.
But it was a Star Wars movie.
And you're eating popcorn, and you're taking huge handfuls, and
So I'm being myself.
Some of it's landing in your mouth, but a lot of it is on your clothing and all over the floor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? What's happening? Because I'm so self-conscious. Like, I never want to draw attention to myself. And so, yeah, that was kind of like, wow, what did I get myself into? Since, now we make a competition of it. Like, whoever has the least kernels on the floor
It's a Reed family thing. If you make anything competition, and I was,
you want to win that competition. Yeah. But after the movie, we came back to my house and we played cards with my sister and my nephew, and you were so kind and warm and just so easy to be around, and I thought that it was just a really fun night, and you just fit right in with the group. And so then when I walked you out to the car, and you gave me probably the best hug I've ever had in my life, I felt so comfortable. But in my head, I'm like, is this love? Is this friendship?
I'm still in the friend zone, which is the story of my life, really, for high school and college.
And to be fair, like, we were texting back and forth after the date, and we're like, what did you think and how did you feel? And I said, I still think you're in the friend zone, but I really enjoyed my time with you.
But still, conversations, we got together a few more times, and suddenly by August, we're Facebook official.
We're Facebook official. Yeah, that's true.
And it's weird because in my head, it feels like it was a courtship. The thing is, there's no one size fits all.
No, there's not.
If someone says, we got engaged after a few weeks, if it works, great.
Mm-hmm.
If they need years to be engaged or never marry at all but stay together, fine. I mean, it's each your. But the ultimate thing, I think, is a commonality is we became best friends.
We did.
Right away.
Yeah.
And if you cannot call the person you're with your best friend, don't put a ring on it. That's my Beyonce advice to you.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about our engagement and a bunch of relationship in later episodes.
Yeah,
but
totally.
for now, we're going to take a break. Yeah. So myself, Dar, and Lottie will be back with you.
So welcome back. Before we left, you had just mentioned, best friends. So I just want to clarify, what does that look like? We all have, coworkers, acquaintances, friends, but I think you and I both really wanted our partner to be our best friend. And really, what does that mean?
Let me tell you what best friend is to me.
Yeah.
I just think it's, there are many times, in even past relationships, I felt embarrassing to say, oh, I love this comic book or sci-fi thing or just.
You don't have that here. Like, we like a lot of the same things.
And to me, it's where you feel so comfortable you can talk about anything.
Right.
And not worry about being judged, especially.
Yeah.
And when you have ADHD like I do.
Yeah. And anxiety like I do.
It's hard to deal with that kind of not being able to be yourself.
Like judgment.
Judgment.
I think you take it personally, especially if you have an ADD brain.
Yeah.
There's a sensitivity there, I think. But luckily, we both like Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, like all the sci-fi stuff. You don't have to choose a side. We love it all here.
Yeah.
But I got you into Friends.
You did. So, I mean, the thing is, when Friends was on, Must See TV Thursday, right? But this is going to date us a little bit. But, Thursday nights, I was usually working as as a
Copy editor or
copy editor, assistant editor of a newspaper.
Mhm.
And so in those days, you can only set a VCR to record one thing.
Yeah.
And Deep Space Nine was on at the same time, so I avoided the show Friends.
Yep.
Um,
But I got you hooked on
Yeah.
Friends, and it's my guilty pleasure series. Like I just love it.
we are going to do an episode on the Guilty Pleasure sometime at
Yeah.
some point. But,
Yes, we should.
Yeah, but it's not even guilty. Friends is just amazing.
I just love it. It's like
Yeah.
I put it on to have
It's
good
like comfort.
ambiance in the background, like
Mhm.
while I'm, doing things around the house, or I could quote a lot of different episodes.
So part of the things we love talking about sci-fi and
Oh,
pop
yeah.
culture.
Oh yeah, we stream a lot.
Friends.
To be fair, we watch a lot of movies. We watch a lot of TV. We stream. We play video games. We take those very seriously. But right now we're obsessed with The Pit.
Oh,
We love The
so
Pit.
good.
And Stranger Things, Hawkins Middle
Right
School
there.
AV Club, right?
Superman.
It's
This is
Darth
a
Vader.
Darth Vader
Yeah.
shirt.
We got all the fan gear stuff.
Yeah. And, how excited are we that Ted Lasso's coming back?
Oh, I love Ted Lasso. And Shrinking, like anything
Yeah, Brett
that Brett
Goldstein.
Goldstein is it.
And
I mean,
British. So it's funny because my dad was born in Newbridge, Wales, lived up until his 20s in the United Kingdom, and
Mhm.
I am a partial British citizen for
Mhm.
that reason.
Mhm.
I can come and go to the British Isles as I please. I can run for Parliament, and I'm really waiting for King Charles. Did I say King George?
George.
Boy, that goes
I'll
back
be
some.
back.
Welcome, America 250. Yeah. To make me Sir Christopher Reeve.
Okay. I'd be
so-
okay with that if you had a title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you were watching things like
Oh, Vicar of Dibley. I love Vicar
before
of
you
Dibley.
met me.
Great British Bake Off. The F Word with Gordon Ramsay, which is a cooking show, people.
Yeah.
But he does drop the F-bomb. But
Doghouse.
yeah. Oh, I love the Doghouse.
If you're ever in a bad mood, and I don't even think it's on YouTube. We have ways of watching British programming.
Right.
But,
But I love if you're ever in a bad mood, the Doghouse pulls you
is the
out.
best.
You love The Chase.
The Chaser,
Uh-huh.
Taskmaster.
Mhm.
Dar.
Mhm.
For my birthday, it was the coolest thing ever. She created the surprise Taskmaster birthday where I got to be Greg Davies and be the host and
Yeah, I roped in
friends
all
and
of
family
my siblings
were
nephews,
competitors.
and
It was amazing.
it was really fun. It was a lot of work, but it was worth it. It was really fun. So
and we're also gamers,
Mhm.
but not we're not playing the latest stuff.
No.
We really are playing old school,
It's
playing
more-
old NES.
yeah,
One in particular that you
Well,
introduced me to because I didn't play
Dr.
much.
Mario, it's
Yeah.
my jam. I love it.
We play it every night.
Yeah,
We have a trophy. It is serious business in our household.
we work for Scrabble tiles that
Mhm.
I burned our initials, our names in, and we
Yeah.
we keep adding those Scrabble tiles, and we put money in the pot, and it's a serious thing because the Reed boys are super competitive.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy to have a fun time.
And you are
but-
the better player, and she lets
Aw.
me play, with a lower level, so I really do play with a handicap.
That's
It's-
okay. You can
you
do
know,
that in this
so
game.
basically, if it was golf, Dar's the men's team, I'm playing the women's team. So that's
It's
just
all
how it
right.
is.
It's all good.
Okay.
It's all good. But
Whatever
we try to
works.
keep it light, and we'll either listen to a podcast
Yeah,
or
some music.
music. We'll just kind of alternate back and forth. But yeah, we have a lot of fun together, and that's where we say we are best friends. We just
Best
love
friends,
spending time.
and in our house, the terms nerd and geek, they're affection.
Oh, I love them for sure. Yep.
Yeah. So so we talk about Stranger Things, sure.
Yeah, so this next segment, I'm calling it Strange Things. So not to be confused with Stranger Things, which we
Mhm.
love, of course. But no, in this particular segment, I want to compare the things that when we first met, we thought were strange, Utah compared to Los Angeles.
Oh, and boy, you talk about. It's funny because you think of going to different countries. There's such a different culture
From state to
in Utah.
state
From
and
state to
city
state.
city to city. So I want you to go first. What were your things that you're like, this is really weird?
First thing, fry sauce.
Yeah.
We're eating and we're having fries,
Yeah.
and you're asking me if I want fry sauce.
Yeah.
And my first thought is, I don't usually put ketchup on my fries.
Yeah.
Fry sauce is not ketchup.
It's not. It is ketchup with mayo mixed together. Sometimes some people put mustard in there too, but it's mainly mayo mixed with ketchup. But my jam right now is campfire sauce, which is fry sauce plus barbecue sauce mixed together, and we usually get that at Red Robin.
Red Robin.
Yeah. So I don't know.
We don't eat as much. Because
No.
we've had weight loss surgery.
Yeah.
And
so we don't
I've
eat
lost
out as much.
140 pounds. You've lost weight.
75.
Right.
Yeah.
So we now like split one burger dish. We
Yeah.
cut the burger in half, and that makes us both.
And those
full.
bottomless fries, they're not. I mean, we're a
We have
cheap
no
date.
Yeah, I mean, no buffet is worthless for us because we're only gonna
There's
get
no
one
point.
plate.
There's no point.
Um,
So I ordered the garlic parmesan fries, which are nice steak fries, big chips they'd call them in the UK. But yeah, you mix that with the campfire sauce. But it originated in Arctic Circle, but you can get it at Dairy Queen, or fry sauce is a thing, and you can get bottles of fry
and
sauce in the
they are
grocery
religious
store.
about that in Utah. I mean, like, besides LDS, the official religion of Utah is definitely fry sauce.
No, it's you're missing lime green Jello with cottage cheese and
So good.
crushed pineapple and walnuts.
I haven't been sold in fry sauce. I don't believe in putting anything on fries, but
Well, some fries don't need it. Like
Right,
McDonald's fries, they're delicious.
but I'm definitely on lime green Jello with cottage cheese.
That is good. I
And
love it.
Another weird thing.
Yes.
Fireworks
Well,
in the market,
In the market, yeah,
but I can't get wine in the market.
that's true.
Um,
You can go to the checkout counter where there's, magazines and candy bars, and then
and
there's
you can
going to
get,
be,
especially around July 4th, fireworks that will
Yeah.
shoot in the sky.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But
But don't buy wine with dinner in the grocery store. There's no alcohol like that.
Yes.
You have to go to the state liquor store.
So
Yeah.
weird things like that. So
Yeah.
so that's a culture shock coming from LA
Yeah.
to
Utah.
Utah.
Yeah.
What about when I take
Well,
you to Los
for me,
Angeles?
it's the reverse. It's like seeing billboards for wine and
Oh,
for
wow.
like
Yeah.
cigarettes or whatever. It's just like that doesn't happen in Utah. I mean, I realize it does exist in other places. That Utah's the anomaly. But for me, probably the first thing that was a little shocking to me was when we're driving down, a freeway, and we're heading into the middle of Los
I
Angeles,
remember this.
and there's a huge plane it feels too close to the road. It feels too big. It feels too close. And it's not that I've not seen airports or planes. Of course I have, because it's just usually the airports are further out. So I'd be like, Chris, is that okay? Like it's not crashing, is it? And you're like,
That's the
Star,
problem.
there's
I grew
an
up under the
airport
flight
right
path
there.
of Burbank Airport.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just so, and it was an easy way to provide comfort, but still, but speaking of highways,
Yeah.
you still get annoyed by when I say the 15,
Right.
the
Because
405.
because I get that's how you say it in LA, but like the 405 or whatever.
Yeah.
But in Utah, we usually say like interstate, I-15. Yeah. It's just a slight difference.
It's the
Well,
15.
We don't have a whole
In
whole
LA,
bunch.
I would take the 405. Sometimes it gets to the 118 if I was going north. But really going south, I might take the.
You sound like the SNL Californians, like that little skit.
I'm from the Bow.
You are the Val.
Okay.
Like, you want to go to the
Um,
Galleria?
But here's the thing. It's funny because I know like the crowds of LA are I mean you cannot drive in LA.
No, I want you to drive in LA. I want you to drive in Las Vegas. I think I'm the better driver in Utah, and I know the rules. I'm a much better driver in Utah, but I don't want to drive in. And I don't have the patience to face the crowds to how long it takes to drive from one side of the valley to the other. I just don't have the patience, because in St. George it takes like 20 minutes to get wherever you're going, right? So it's
and I mean when I used to work like 5 minutes as a crow flies from the office in LA. It's actually in Torrance, Marina Del Rey, and it was there were times it took me an hour to
That's
get to work.
crazy.
Not walking, driving.
I don't have that patience. I just wouldn't do it. So those are just the slight differences,
Slight
right?
differences.
That we've learned that are,
But ultimately, if you're best friends
Mhm.
and you can talk to each other,
Mhm.
life is grand, isn't it?
Yeah, life is grand.
So we'll try to do one more segment, I think, in a little bit.
Couple more, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with a little bit more.
Welcome back. For our last segment, I want to read a letter that was written to an advice columnist of the past. And I think we should do our best to provide a suggestion. Again, we're not therapists.
No. Therapy's awesome.
We love therapy, but this is an informal suggestion.
These are just our opinions.
Yes.
Please don't wager on what we're going to say here.
Yes.
It's very important. So what are we calling this?
So this is from Reflecting. He signs.
Yeah. What we're calling this
Oh,
segment.
the segment. My 2 cents. We're calling the segment My Two Cents.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's just
So Dar has this letter from
I do.
yesteryear,
Yes.
and we're going to try to give our advice and our thoughts.
Yeah, and think what you would say at home, maybe.
Exactly.
So, I'm looking for some guidance as I navigate a situation that's left me feeling confused. I'm 40 and my girlfriend is a few years younger. We've been dating for about a year and recently moved in together. Overall, our relationship is strong and healthy. We communicate well, we're aligned in our life goals, and we both want a family. By all practical measures, everything seems to be moving in the right direction. Recently, I started talking to my family about proposing to her 5 or 6 months from now. What surprised me was my emotional reaction. Instead of feeling excited or joyful, I felt a sense of worry and unease. It wasn't panic exactly, but it also wasn't happiness. When I tried to understand where that feeling was coming from, I couldn't pinpoint a clear reason. When I asked my family for input or perspective, the response was mostly, "Do what you want, I guess," which left me feeling even more alone in sorting this out. I care deeply about her and our future, which makes me wonder whether these feelings stem from my stage in life, a fear of change or responsibility, or a sign that I should slow down and reflect more before taking the next step. How do I distinguish between natural apprehension and a deeper hesitation that shouldn't be ignored? And how much excitement is, quote, enough when making a decision as big as marriage? Any perspective would be greatly appreciated. I care deeply about my girlfriend and truly see a future with her, and that's exactly why this unexpected lack of excitement has caused me to pause and reflect. Signed, Reflecting. So what are your thoughts?
I think, first off, it comes down to you have to decide. It's tough in families, especially when you're close in families, and you really value the opinions of those around you. I get that. And your friends, but ultimately it has to be what's right for you. And once again, I'm going to be a broken record on this, but ask yourself, are they your best friend? And one thing I picked up in here that could be a red flag,
Mm-hmm.
at least to me, is that why can't you just talk to her about this?
Mm-hmm.
I could talk to you. I mean,
Mhm.
if you can't talk to the other person about this,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
there's something that's giving you, I guess, trepidation. So I mean,
Well, and that's to me, like, if there's hesitation, that generally, doubt means don't. At least not yet. That doesn't mean never.
right.
It just means right now is probably not the right
Right.
time, or maybe you don't have the full picture yet. Maybe you just need to give yourself a little more time. Maybe something else is going on and you're subconsciously picking up on it. But I feel like, do you know that movie? Gosh, what was it?
Family Stone.
Family Stone.
Because
Yeah.
we watched it.
We
I
watched
hadn't
it the
seen
other
it
day.
until
Yeah.
like maybe a couple months
It
ago.
reminds me of Everett and Meredith, like
Mhm.
the characters, where
Yeah.
it's like they came home.
Dermot Mulroney, I think,
Yeah.
played Everett.
Uh-huh.
Sarah Jessica Parker,
Yeah.
Sex and the City, played Meredith.
Yes. I think
Yeah,
it was
great movie.
2005
Yeah,
Christmas,
that's
something
right.
like that. But it was like on paper, it made sense. He brought her home to ask his mom for an engagement ring. Like it was on paper, it made sense. And their goals were aligned. And then you realize over time, oh, maybe there's somebody else that's a better fit for each of them for different
Yeah.
reasons. And so I think, yeah, doubt means don't. And that doesn't mean never. And that doesn't mean they're a horrible person. It doesn't mean any of that. But by the same token, if you decide that what you need is financial responsibility or protection, or if it's, you have to decide what's best for you as a couple. And I don't think it's fair to judge anyone else by your standards. So like we've learned in therapy that there's no cookie cutter marriage.
There's not.
That whatever you negotiate as a couple, like, hey, I feel this way. Can you meet my needs? Can I meet your needs? As long as you're on the same page, maybe they need to get married because it's about goals. Maybe they have a common understanding. So I don't want to pass judgment on anyone else's marriage, but I do feel like they do need to talk and they need to be on the same page.
There are certain things. So I mean, it's funny because a friend of ours just got out of a long-term relationship,
Yeah.
and I was talking to her the other day, and she said basically, "Well, I'm gonna have to find somebody else." And I said, "No, they need to find you. You need to be comfortable in yourself. If you're not comfortable enough in your own judgment in a situation like that, and you're also not comfortable to talk to the other person about it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, something to work on. And
Mhm.
it's funny because while you were reading the letter,
Mhm.
Lottie, and she still is looking at the letter, I think
She is.
she wants to say something about. Do you want to say anything about it?
She's very wise.
Yeah?
No, she just
You
wants to
don't?
relax.
Just want to relax.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. We gotta cut your nails. Um, so yeah, that I mean, it's funny because that's it's. I think for young people, and this was in my first marriage. People were first like, you're first dating. Well, when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna get married? Okay, you're married. When are you gonna have kids? I have two great kids.
Mhm.
I have a first kid. When are you gonna have a second
There's
kid?
outside
There's
expectations.
so much outside
Yeah.
expectations.
Mhm.
It's hard, especially when you're younger. The
Mhm.
experiences come with
Mhm.
being maturity. Is the ability to know that you have to make your own calls and that there
Yeah.
is no timetable.
Yeah.
Whether it's short or long, whether
Mhm.
it's about here. It's about your heart.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, and sometimes that feedback is really helpful,
Sure.
especially if people know you really well. But then sometimes looking for outside validation, you kind of know it's wrong already, and you're just kind of looking for, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
you're so right.
So I just think the advice that I would give reflecting is don't do it yet. Wait a little while.
Don't do it yet.
Yeah.
And if you never get to that place,
That's okay.
Move on.
It doesn't mean
It's okay.
And I feel like we meet people in our life. Sometimes it's lifelong friendships. And sometimes it's just, you know what, there was a goal that you both accomplished and now you can move on.
And sometimes you're lucky and you get both.
Yeah.
And actually, I think that's the secret. If you can have both, your best friend and the person you love, your partner, then that all comes together.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
that's,
I feel like we need to wrap things up.
Yeah, that's about it. That's all from us. And so we just wanted to thank you for tuning into our first episode. Lottie's ready to go.
Yeah.
We'd like to hear how you met your partner. Tell us your love story in a nutshell. You might be able to share some strange things that you've noticed about where you grew up or where you live now. We do have a phone line where you can leave a voicemail message. Call 435-990-5824 to leave a message, or you could email us from lalatoutah@gmail.com.
That's 435-990-5824 today. You're Gen X, you know that reference. In future episodes, we're gonna speaking of Gen X, we're gonna provide a lot of tributes to Gen X.
Yep.
We're gonna talk about getting married and we're gonna talk about my divorce.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
and also growing up in Utah versus California in the 70s and 80s, what was similar, what was different, right?
The movies and music that have influenced us, the toys and games we loved as kids,
totally.
Commercials we remember, just like the Empire commercial.
Well, and even what we're watching now, like things we're enjoying now. We're kind of that couple that's like, hey, have you tried this new restaurant, or have you seen this new show? We're kind of those people, so we want to share. We get excited and we want to share those things.
Exactly, and we're not to presume that we are experts or whatever,
no.
Or that we like to. I hope that we can talk to you and as friends, basically, and help give a good start to your week is a big thing.
Really,
before we need that in this time.
That's the thing. I feel like
we're young or old.
We're carrying a lot of heavy things in the world. And I think we just want to put a smile on people's face, tell you you're not alone. So these topics and much more will be coming soon.
Absolutely. So remember, you can reach us calling 435-990-5824. That is not a 976 line. No. Nothing like that. And it's free of charge unless you're paying long distance with MCI.
You're so dating yourself right now.
I really am. Or GTE. Hi, let's go there. Pacific Bell. You can also email us from lalatoutah@gmail.com.
Yeah.
In that new technology called email, I think.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's really cool.
In a future episode, I'm going to talk about why I was one of the first people on Gmail.
Yeah, that's true. You're a first adopter.
Yeah. Well, not only first adopter. Some of you just get, ish. Depends, but meantime, we're going to see you again on Monday.
Yep.
We hope, from the bottom of our hearts, we hope you have a great week.
Yep. Thanks for being here with us. We'll see you again.
Take care.